I want to welcome everybody to our live trading session today. This is Robert Burns here with Robert Russell. It is Thursday, January 4th, and off we go. Excited about what we are going to bring to you today. And this is something that is a very exciting time with Manifest and what we're up to with live trading. Down here on the bottom, I want to draw your attention to this. This part of the promo ends January 7th. Somebody can be a customer for $20, and then 30 days later, for $99, they have the opportunity to continue on the customer path. They want to be a platinum customer and IBO. That is add $20 to the initial part, meaning $40, and then 119 ongoing on their rebilling. And so that is the manifest part. What we're doing here, notice the green banner right here. It says this test drive is free until January 18th. So we will do this today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday the following week. And then if somebody wants to continue with us, they will need to be a paid customer in Manifest to do so. But for our builders, we're trying to really get some momentum, some wind in the sails. And so this is our attempt to make it very attractive for people to come here and not to have any pushback, where we're free is pretty hard to beat. After the 18th, we'll be offering these free sessions on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month. So what we're going to get into now is the trading checklist. This is a very important item, and we're, it seems like we're constantly updating this and constantly adding to it. But one of the things that you want to do when you're starting out, just like a pilot flies a plane, you want to have your checklist. And it's vital to make sure that you take a look at things on this checklist, because what you don't want to have is you don't want to be blindsided by things that are happening in the market. And there are things that happen that don't show up on these news, on this news things like the war in Israel, and that happened on a Saturday. So that kind of thing can have or there's things around that take place. But these are the things that are knowns, meaning we know they're coming. So for instance, today is the 4th. We've got a couple of pretty impactful things that are happening that just happened, actually. The non-farm payroll employment change was at 5:15 a.m. my time, 5:30 a.m. I'm in Pacific time, by the way, here on the West Coast of the U.S. Unemployment claims, these are potentially big ones. And then tomorrow is generally the one that is the most impactful of all consistently, which is the non-farm payroll, also known as the NFP. That's at 5:30 a.m. my time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and what is that? 1:30 p.m. UK time. And this brings up the point perfectly. See, I know my time zone, you know your time zone. If you want this same thing, get an account with this. And when you do, I'm going to send you the link in chat. When you do, that will enable you to have your time zone automatically pop right here, so you can see everything related to your time zone, which is just handy. So as opposed to having to do a bunch of computation. You also can turn on what you want to see and what you don't want to see, maybe more importantly. So if I said all I want to see is red folder, I can go up to this little filter guy right here, uncheck orange, and click apply filter, and voila, we've got red folders and nothing but red folders. So I'm going to send this out to everybody. And this is a very, very useful item, and one that really is crucial, because the first time you're in a trade and you wonder what in the heck happened, it went absolutely nuts. The currency pair went nuts, and you'll remember that, oh yeah, there was news. And especially when you're new, it can surprise you out of the blue. And so this is a way of avoiding having that rogue wave hit you. Very, very important to be mindful of the news, and especially impactful news, which we've got this week. There are traders that won't trade because of the non-farm payroll. It's that impactful. In other words, they just want to be out of the market. What we're going to get into now is my colleague Robert Russell is going to show you top-down analysis, draw out the zones and the market structure lines that he does so well, and the trend lines. And then later, if assuming we have time to do this, I'll get into position size computation, and show you how that works. Also, when you're doing this, this is a key thing on the checklist. Are you in a demo account or a live account? This is such an easy mistake to make. I added it yesterday because I almost made this mistake myself. In other words, it's there you go. It's important to have it on the checklist so you don't make that mistake. Also check the position size in your MT4 and MT5 to make sure they match what you have computed on for your position size on that instrument. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to our trader for today, which is Mr. Robert Russell. Robert.
Robert, thank you very, very much. And again, folks, that is so important there what Robert has gone through. Folks, I'm going to start off, folks. Anything you hear here is education purposes only. There's no financial advice given. And the trades, folks, are trades ideas. I can give the trade idea, folks, but it's totally on to you then if you enter the trade, and it's down to you to close it as well, okay? Folks, I'm going to start off and I'll go through the charts. I've just checked, as Robert checked the folders there, folks. We don't have any red folders coming up, so we're clear of the news for today. We have the New York opening in about 10 to 15 minutes time. So hopefully, folks, we will get our trade entry today. Again, unless I have all my confirmations, folks, I won't call a trade, okay? I always want my confirmations. Okay, folks, so we're doing a little bit of work in the background before I jumped onto the call today because I have a lot of lines and there is a lot of lines on my chart. So if I can have a line with a little bit of writing on the side, you'll go, okay, we understand what he sees. Here we go, folks. We have a line coming up the side. That's my trend line. This line here, folks, that was the opening price today. Okay, so very important to see where it opened today. And there is a big resistance level here. This is in the USD JPY. And the price feed is 8 cap, folks, okay? And I am on the 30-minute. I was just checking, folks, on my RSI on my phone on the 30-minute. The RSI is up over 80. Folks, I'm expecting a retrace hitting this level. I don't expect it to break it. So there could be a possible entry here. I'm not expecting the US to get up this high. I want it to retreat, come back down again, maybe come into the fair value gap and around here or down below. But again, we'll wait and we'll see. So that is the USD. Hope these help, folks. The little bit of drawings here, I did them just to do the markings. The DAX, folks, I'm going to go to the DAX. Again, trend line coming down, folks. Opening price is this level here. I think, folks, we're going to kind of either going to kick, we're going to either break up or we're going to break down. We've got lots of resistance here at the bottom. That's why I did this line. So there's not even resistance. That is support. Let me just correct that straight away. There we go. Very easily corrected. Okay, so making sure everything's correct. So folks will keep an eye on this. The DAX is in a big, it isn't a big downtrend. If we go to the 4-hour, you know, we look out at a bigger picture. I'm still expecting it to push down. We did have a little bit of a push up yesterday and this morning, but I feel now, folks, if the bears are they're getting back into charge and they're about to push, maybe when the New York opens in maybe 20 minutes, we could get that push down for a possible entry. So we're waiting again, folks. I have my lines drawn out, and these, folks, you know, normally it kind of follows the lines the whole way. As you can see, trend line coming down, trend line coming up. We have support here. There's the opening price, folks. We had the opening price this morning. It's respecting that level. So it's kind of, it's staying above it. So there's possibility maybe come up. Well, this little fair value gap was here in the red. Maybe come up, come under this area, and then come back down. Okay, so that's a possibility that might happen. Again, folks, it's the markets. They will do their thing. They won't listen to me or anybody else. But possibilities. If we go to the euro, again, trend line coming up. This is the other trend line coming down. This is my opening price. As you can see, it came down, it respected it. And we have the high for the day, folks. So here we have our opening, which I call it the low. And we have our high for the day. What I'm expecting again is for this to come down, maybe break through the opening price and continue to go on down. But for this to happen, folks, it's all down to the dollar as well. Again, you know, we do have the bears are in charge, but to me, by looking at this, the bears are getting a good push. We were down at this level yesterday. We did get the retrace up, as what I said. But again, I'm going to check on the dollar. So we're looking for the dollar to be strong. Again, I had these markings yesterday, who was on the call, and I did expect the dollar to bounce off it. It did, and it came down, and now the dollar's coming back up. What we're looking for is the dollar to break this level. So that is going to give us, you know, the euro going weak, and the USD also will be strong in front of the JPY pair, okay? So that's what we're looking for, folks, on today's trades. Okay, possibility getting up into the fair value gap here. Maybe a little bit of liquidity. What I'd be looking at, folks, it's coming up. Let's say there's lots of liquidity here. There's lots of people with sales on. So if you're, let's say the institutional traders, the bankers, they want to take out all us first as day traders, okay? They want to take us all out. So they're going to push this up, possible the end of this area, folks. Can it go up this high? I don't think we can get up here. I really don't. But again, then the markets will do their thing. I think we'll come into this fair value gap and we'll push down. So I will find the entries, but again, folks, the entries aren't there at the minute. We'll have to wait. Folks, the possible entry here for me, I'm going to put it in. It would need to break the opening price of today. Okay, break through the opening price. So I'm going to put this in here. Sure I'm at the right area. I'm just looking at levels, folks, over to the left of possibilities. I like to keep my stop loss tight. I will give it a little breathing room, but I always cut my losers short, folks. Normally when it's on a downtrend, folks, what I'm looking for is, let's say we're breaking down, as long as it doesn't come up and break the previous high. Let's say we came down here, okay, and then we retraced up. So this is a high. We came down to here, we came back up. So this is another high. What we don't want to see is this candle coming up and breaking this high here. Because if it breaks a previous high, there's a good chance then you could come up and test the next high. Because how it works, folks, is a higher high, lower low. Okay, so we've got our high, we have our low, we've got our higher high, our lower low. Now we came back up to do a higher high. What we want now is to come down and break this area here. Okay, so this is the low. What I'm looking for is this candle now in the next 10 to 15 minutes to come down and break the opening price today and push on down. And then a possibility it will retrace up before moving down again. So that's what I'm seeing in my head. Again, we'll have to wait to the markets. Again, folks, as it says, I don't expect the USD to get up. So I have my open price. Let's say we have our high, folks, okay? We're going to do our fib. Let's get our Fibonacci tracement on here. So we're going to go from our low. We're going to go to the high. Okay. I'll make sure these lines are correct at the bottom where I need them, as close as I can get it. Okay, folks, so what will I be looking at here? Okay, we have our line I have in today. I have my 0.23 line that's in place today. We have our 3.8 and then we have our 0.5. Folks, normally when we get this is our low for today, which, you know, probably that was Let me see the 7. Hold on. I want to make sure this is correct because this has to be correct. Okay, so we're on 730. Okay, so this here is the low. Hold on, I want to get rid of that. So I need to move this down a little bit. It's locked. Just need to move this one first. Bear with me, folks. I want to make sure my lines is correct. And there we go. I'm going to lock that up. So here is the opening price. We need to drag this down to there. So I am correct. Folks, if this fib isn't correct, if you're off by a few pips, it can put the whole trade off as well. So we got to be careful. Let's go to 30 minutes. It's just checking everything. We'll go back down to 15, down to 5, and there we go. Okay, so I'm happy with everything's in place. So what we're looking for, folks, is we have our 23 here. This is our area of a possible entry. If it breaks the 23, then we'll be looking at the 38. Okay, so these would be 2 possible entries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 2 entry positions on those levels, and then I'm going to take the fib off so I can see the entries. So there's going to be 2 possible entries here. And we'll draw one at this line here as well. And get rid of that. I need to do 2 entry levels. Bear with me, folks. I need to get this correct. Okay, so there's 2 possible levels of entries. Okay, so when we get closer,
what are
folks,
those numbers?
So the first entry possible is 144.369. That is a possible entry 1. The second entry is 144.146. So again, folks, the first entry of a possible entry is 144.369. And the second entry is 144.146. Again, folks, we just sit and we wait. As it says, it could maybe go up to the resistance level and then do the retrace, and then we will reset the fib. Okay, so again, I don't expect it to get up here. Somewhere at this level, I'm expecting the retrace to happen. Okay, so we'll sit and we'll wait. So we have our markings in here. It'll be easily changed if we need it changed. We'll go to the euro. Again, folks, this is my trend line coming up. So I'm looking to break through that trend line. So that's confirmation 1. The opening price would be a confirmation 2. And then I would do 1 or 2 other little settings over here that I have that would have to break those as well. Okay, but I'm looking at the DAX as well. If we could possibly move this line, because it seems to be respecting the outside of that line. I'm going to move this a little bit higher. Let's just say there. Trend lines are so important, folks, that they're in the correct position. Okay, so that looks, yeah, I'm okay with that. Maybe move it a little bit here. Folks, when you have your trend line, always zoom in and making sure that you're just touching the top of the wick. Don't let it touch the candle. It has to be the top of the wick. Okay, let's move it down a little bit. And there. And then what we do, we lock it up then so it doesn't move. Okay, so that's this trend line in right position. Folks, normally when I do my lines, okay, with a kind of trend line coming up here, with the big trend line coming down, normally what happens here when you have a pair, an index, whatever you're doing, it probably will come into the corner, like it'll go up and down till it hits this area here. Folks, what it's about is patience, okay? Don't just jump in on your entries. Let's say you jumped in now and you're going to do a buy, and before you knew it, it dropped down. Wait until it makes its move. Because then once it makes the move, you're going to be rewarded for your patience, okay? So as what I say, sit on your hands and wait, okay? It might take 30 minutes, it might take an hour, but be patient, folks, okay? And have the correct stop loss, your entry, and your take profits in place, okay? And then move this up. So that trend line was moving on me. I didn't lock it up, so I got to reset it. There we go. There. Okay. And put the wee lock on it. There we go, folks. So if we go down to 5 minutes, I am expecting a sale, folks, on the DAX. That's what I'm looking for. Let's just say I can possibility put in the entry. It's going to have to get down to support. It's going to have to break this line here, break the support, and that's a possible entry with our stop loss up here. I'm going to hit another entry here. So folks, this possible entry on the DAX will be 16504. Okay, possible entry is 16504. So that is our possible entry on the DAX. Folks, I wait until the candles get closer to my area. Then I will put in my stop loss. Because normally my stop loss will be at the last previous high, okay? So that's what I'll be looking for, my stop loss, the last previous high. Okay, so now, folks, it's a matter of we have our entries. We must be patient. And we wait. Okay, so we are getting, this is the 5 minute candles. Let me see. Okay, so we got rejected once, we got rejected twice, we get rejected again. So it's going to be possible to try it again, go up and break through. Again, folks, I'm going to wait patiently. I'm not going to enter a trade. It's all about execution. It's about waiting for your entry to appear. Don't enter too early. Because this is what happens, folks, with a lot of traders. We get it wrong. We go in too early. And we didn't wait for the markets to give us our entry. So we have the New York opening in 5 minutes, 4 minutes. We might see a little bit of volume. And then our entry possibility will come. Okay, so we have created, again, folks, as says we came up and we touched into our fair value gap. Okay, we're getting rejected this level here a lot. It just doesn't seem to like it, which is good. But I wouldn't want to be doing my entry here, folks, and my stop loss up here. I don't like that. That's too big of a gap. For other traders, that's okay. But for me, I would rather have my stop loss if it breaks this trend line again. So I'm going to set my stop loss. So I'm going to move these out, folks, so we can see what we're doing here. Okay. I will call these levels, folks, again, closer to our entry. And again, folks, let's just say our entry, it comes in and it pushes through here. Let me move this up a little bit. There's our entry. So this will be the first little bit of resistance here, 16478. Okay. Folks, it says, folks, if the entry doesn't come, if it doesn't give us the entry, it can be all about education, about waiting, being patient. I won't jump into a trade. We will get lots of entries, we will. Folks, and whenever I enter a trade, folks, I want it to be a winner. I really do. I don't want to be entering a trade and it going the wrong way and jumping in too early. Let's check with the dollar. Let me go up to 30 minutes. Go to 5. Okay, we're getting a little bit of rejection here now in the dollar, folks. So this is what I was expecting. But we have the New York open now in 2 minutes. So we should get the volume to get a possible entry. Most folks probably, when you'd probably have broken these two candles here, most people would probably have jumped into their entry. I just would rather have a little bit more of a confirmation from the candles, you know what I mean? Because if you could break these two candles here, here and here, it could just maybe come down a little bit below this here and it could retrace back up. That's why I'd rather the confirmation of breaking my trend line, coming down to my entry, going back up, testing this area, and then making the move down, okay? This is what I'm thinking. Times it plays out, times it doesn't. I will be shocked, folks, if it breaks that area. I will be really shocked. Because I'm watching the RSI. I have the RSI on my phone on my MT4, and the RSI on the 30-minute, it's well over 80. Okay, so to me, it's indicating it's overbought. So we're looking for a retracement. Just want to watch the DAX because I know the DAX does move at around 230 with the US 30. Again, folks, next week the markets will be more in volume. More traders will be back. This week, I still notice the markets just not normally going the way they do. Okay, it's respecting today's opening price, as you can see again here. We need to break today's opening price because that means a lot in the markets. It is respecting this. Again, folks, if this entry isn't here, and let's say an hour or two later, and eventually it falls into this area here, and I get the entry, I will put it into the group, so you will not miss out on it, okay? If these entries don't come in the next half hour or an hour, we will post it into the group, so we won't miss the entries. Okay, folks, I'm going to go to the hour. And we always look left. Okay, I'm going to go to the 4 hour because there is a big gap. And as you can see, folks, I have this line drawn here for a reason. Okay. So we will look for a possible pullback in this area. And then when we get the pullback, that's when we get our entry in a lower situation so we can continue going up. Because we didn't really get much of a pullback here, folks, if we look. We got one pullback here. There's been a small one there, but there hasn't really been any retracement yet. Okay. Again, folks, what happens is the possibility will just come up. It will touch the line, come back down, come back up, come back down. And it will make its move, folks. When the DAX, like I think there was a couple of weeks ago before Christmas, the USD JPY did this. We had our lines, folks, and it came into the corner and it made a drop. And our patience was paid off. That was a big, big drop. Okay, so we just sit and we wait. We don't jump on. Because really, we're not going to, like, if you're jumping on here, you're getting back out there. We're not gathering any really momentum. We're not getting much pips. We're not really, it's 10, 15, 20. It's a sniper entry in and out. And you do risk it now when you're in this area. We're just going up, down, up, down. So there's a chance that it could go against you very, very quickly. So I'm just going to go through these charts. Just going to check the dollar, folks, to see what's going on with the dollar. It's important. Again, this level, it's not breaking through it. Again, folks, as what I say, we have our low here. Then we have our higher high. Then we have our lower low. Then we're going up. We have our higher high. We have our lower low. And again, what has it done? It's broke through the higher high. So what might happen is it might go up and come back down. I thought there was going to be more volume, folks. As you can see, the markets, they are slow. The volume is not in it yet, what it normally is, especially when the London and the New York comes together, especially from 1 o'clock till like 3, 4. These candles should be moving a lot quicker. But next week, folks, we will get a lot more movement. You know what I mean? We're only on to the 4th of January. We're not going to rush things. We have the whole of 2024 to get our big moves. And we want to get the year off to the proper start. Folks, what we want is to break our trend line, get down into the opening price bracket and a possible entry on the euro. Again, folks, if we go to the hour time frame, there is another possibility, folks, it doesn't exactly mean I have an entry for, let's say, a sale. Because as what I say, we came down, we had our lower low, we had our higher high, then we had our lower low. But this higher high, folks, broke the previous one. So it could form a new trend. This is why we be careful. Okay, this is why I would need this to break today's entry, which is the opening price, and then continue to go down. Okay, so the euro could form a new trend. This is where you got to be careful, especially in this situation, because this high broke the previous high. What if did happen, let's say this one came back up, then the euro is in a new trend, folks. We're going to go up, okay? So there's two possibilities on the euro versus the dollar. When you go out to the bigger time frames, you can see a lot more. If you're running the 5 to 10 minutes, it's where we get our entries, but it's on the bigger time frames. You got to check, okay? Like an hour, 4 hours, it's telling you, well, what's happening. Okay, so if we get rejected here, folks, let's say, and then this kicks back up, and if it breaks these previous levels again, I expect the euro to go on an uptrend. Okay, so it can either go up or it can go down. So we'll watch the euro carefully. So what we're looking for, folks, we have our high, our low, our high, our low. And we came up for our high, but it didn't break the previous candle, which was what we wanted. We came down for our low. We're back up to our high. What we need now, folks, is for this to come down and possibility break through the entry, go down a little bit and come back up, create another higher high, and then come down and break our lower low. Okay. So this is where I'm thinking. Okay, folks, as you can see, I did say that line, we should get the rejection. Again, the DAX, I don't think this trade is it's going to happen shortly, because I really do think, folks, this is just going to go up and down till it hits the corner, and then it'll make its move. Why do I think a sell will be a possible move? Because we are on a big downtrend. So if I go to the 4 hours on the DAX and pull the chart in, let me see, I'll move it over a wee bit. Okay. So there we go, folks. So if we could possibly go, let me see, I'll put that stop loss back in the right place. So we had a drop, and with Amber's calls, folks, on Manifest, what she calls is a drop, and then we go base. It means we kind of go sideways, and then we go drop. Okay. So this is what the DAX is doing at the minute. We had our drop. Now we're going base. We'll go sideways for a little bit, and then we'll drop again. Okay. So there's lots of education that you can learn on Manifest. Again, I'm going to move the stop loss because I did move it by mistake. Okay, let's tick this down because I would not put it that high. Okay, we'll go here. I'm going to look at the euro, folks, because the euro looks like it might play into what we're looking for. And go to the 5 minutes. Again, folks, it's not all about my trend lines, my support lines, my resistance lines. It's about the candles. It's very important. A big push from here, look, on the 5 minute, this candle here, it means the bulls try to get into, try to push it up, but the bears, to me, is still in control here because there's a lot of down pressure. And we've got a doji here in the middle. But now, again, we have a little bit of push up from the bulls. Again, guys, what we want is we've got to get down and break this low. Okay, so this is what we're looking for, to break the trend line, get down to today's opening price and break through it. Just, I'm surprised, folks, the markets have got very quiet with the volume. It's literally gone so quiet. Possibility, folks, tomorrow is a big red folder day. And let's say, folks, we had profits banked up for the week. We're off. Normally, I would finish up today. If I have my profits banked from Monday to Thursday, I don't trade a Friday, folks, because we call that the banker's day. Okay. So if you're trading on a Friday, you're more at risk of losing what you gained all week. Okay. So if you have 3 or 4%, folks, on a Thursday evening, I always say you treat yourself, because if you don't, if you go on a Friday, the bankers will come and they will take your profits. That's why they call it a banker's Friday. Folks, we need the dollar to go weak, and we do need it to drop. Okay, so we have the doji here, folks, which is good. We have down pressure. And folks, you can see, folks, we're just getting a green candle up, red candle down, green candle up. This is why we don't enter. Because the minute you enter, it's going straight against you, and you're just going to close out in a loss. Folks, this could run for another 45 minutes an hour. I might watch the charts, and I will probably hand it over to Robert. And then I can come back in, folks, if we see a possible entry. Folks, what could happen here also is we created our lower low. We got a higher high. This low didn't break this previous low. Then we got a higher high, which broke this one. So this one now, folks, could possibly go up here, break this high, and then we'll get our retrace down. Okay, so when you're always looking at the chart, you're seeing different things happening. So what we're looking, I need to look at things first here. Where is the fair value gap? Okay, we have a fair value gap here, and we have the other one there. Again, folks, it's too risky. Folks, we're watching these markets. We don't have an entry anywhere. Do you know what I mean? It's just going up, down, up. There's no movement of a push up or a push down. That doesn't, like, I know it broke the trend line, folks, but that doesn't really give me the inkling that it's going to push up. Normally, folks, what I see is before it makes a move, you could possibly see a push up, and then we get the big drive down. Okay, so this could be a possibility, a false breakout up to fill the sellers into buyers and then drive it down. I've seen this many times in the charts. Everybody's thinking, okay, it's on a buy. They're all jumping in here now on a buy, and they bring it up a little bit, and then you just turn it the other way that quickly. That they grab liquidity before they sent it the other direction. Okay, so always when you see a move either up or down, they're either looking to grab liquidity on the sellers or the buyers before they move. I see this a lot in the charts. Folks, if there's any questions, again, as it says, type them into the chat. And if we can answer, we will. Oh, this is what's happening. I know it's strong now, folks. I'm moving that fib. I'm going to get rid of it because it moved. Okay, we have our two entry levels. Again, folks, it just looks like the high hasn't created. That's why I took out the fib. This, just there's no stopping it. Let me see what's happening with the DAX. Let's go back to the 5 minutes. Again, folks, if you would have just say, let's say you jumped in here and you thought, okay, it's a buy. This is a prime example. It went up. It's kind of like they fool you as if we're going to go into a buy and then they just drive the price down. So that's why I say just wait. Patience. It's a tough. Forex can be tough. But as it says, folks, as the weeks goes on, we'll have the volume and the trades will appear within 5 or 10 minutes. I've been watching this trade for 2 hours. That's okay. I'll just keep checking the charts. When the entry comes, I will put it into our group chat. Just going to draw the fib on here. I'm going to lock these up, folks. Again, we can't really draw the fib until we get the retracement. I don't have a retracement. So these entries, folks, won't be the entries because we've continued to go higher. Okay, so those entries are not valid. Folks, hope you've learned something there. Like, we thought we had an entry here of a buy. Other traders would have entered it. I've seen this move several times. I don't enter because it's called a false breakout. But hopefully that was the golden nugget. Again, it could kick up, but I will let the DAX do its thing. Folks, the markets are just, honestly, they're moving sideways. I will watch it in the background and I will come on if we get an entry. Folks, there's just nothing there at the minute. Volume is low. As you can see, the markets are not moving. If I get the entry, I will call Robert and say we have our entry. If it doesn't happen, folks, I will type it into our Forex signal group on Telegram. I'm pretty sure everybody is in that group. So, folks, today we do not have the trade entry, okay? Robert, I'll hand it back over to you.
Okay, good job, Robert. Tough sledding. I think we're encountering the market being a bit tentative with non-farm tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I had to hazard a guess, that happens. In other words, the people are nervous about the upcoming news event from the U.S. and that is generally the big one each month, actually.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let me get into something that we'll shift gears here a bit. And this is a tool. I'm putting it in chat right now. So you'll want to find chat here on Zoom and click that link before you take off. And then you'll have access to that calculator. It's free. And let me get to my demo account and I can show you how this tool works. So here we go. Okay, you see this little guy right up here. This is the position size calculator. Once it's installed, it'll be in your indicators list. Where is this? Oh, let's see. Oscillators, indicators. Here we go. Oh. Right here. It says Gadget PSC. That is this thing. And when you set it up, it will have the instructions on what I just sent you on how to set it up on MT4 and MT5. When you do set it up, a couple of things just as tips that will help you. I just right mouse click on the chart. Let me go back. I right mouse click right here. and I get indicator list. I'm on MT5 here, but it works virtually identically on MT4. So I go to my indicator list, there's gadget PSC, and a couple of things that I've discovered. Here is where you define the relative amount of risk that you're willing, that you want to have as your maximum risk, and you can have that as percentage of equity, percentage of balance, so forth. You can choose that. Now, these are the things that were ahas for me, one of which is the panel size. I want to just show you what the opposite of this is so you see why I did this. So if I put it on automatic, I click yes, it's too big. It's obtrusive. It's taking up too much of the screen. And for instance, if I did let's say I wanted to do a short right now, it also covers the price action. Well, that's not good, right? You can see the price action behind the actual tool. Well, to fix that, right mouse click, go to indicator list. Once you have it set up, by the way, you won't have to do all this, but these are common things that people will run into, and this is how to fix it. Instead of panel size automatic, I made mine small. I have a pretty high res monitor, the one that I'm on here. So if I make it small, the other thing is notice where the position size is in relationship to your one-click trading tool. Down here, if you put 20, and you may have to play around with this a bit, but 20 is going to be the indent from the left side, that black area right there. 80 is how far it is from the top. And so you'll see what I did is I positioned it right underneath the one-click trader. So now when I use it now, do a short again, notice that it's not over the top of the price action. The price action, by the way, another thing that you can do is with MT5, MT4, this little guy right here puts the price action so that it moves it away from the right edge. You see where I can get a look at it. It's in a space where I can get, clarity about what it is I'm working on. Now, let's talk about this position size calculator for a second. I did a short. What is this thing contemplating? First of all, it's looking at what instrument I'm on. I'm on the Euro USD. It's also looking at what broker I'm on. Now, this is MetaQuote's demo, but it will look at the broker and determine what the contract size is on an instrument. Why does that matter? And this is where this matters. If you were trading US 30 and you had a broker like Envy or FX Sway, somebody that uses a contract size on the US 30 of 100, that would mean that your position size would be 0.01 per index point on that instrument. 8 cap with a 10 contract size would be 0.1. FTMO, Robo4X would be a 1. All of them getting the same result, which is $1 per index point. But if you didn't know that when you were new, it would really throw you a curve because they vary from broker to broker. So when you look at this stuff, here's some things to be mindful of in this process, which is which instrument are you trading? Which broker are you trading on? What is your account size? And then last and most importantly, where are you placing your stop, assuming it's computing all this stuff right? See, now, if you didn't know this, and I didn't know this when I started, I wrestled with this a great deal because I was trying out different brokers and they vary a lot, particularly on indices. So having the opportunity to be able to have some of this stuff done for you is really, really handy. So with that in mind, what are we doing here? We're looking at the euro. I'm looking at a possible short. I'm on approximately a $10,000 account. So what it's going to do is it's going to compute 10%. Actually, I'm at $9,600. So it's doing that almost perfectly. There's 1% risk, which is the previous swing high right here. In other words, from where I am in a short, this would be the most recent high. There's 1%. And on that basis, it's saying, okay, if you were going to leave your stop there, you could have a position size of 0.94. How cool is that? Now, let's keep this number in mind, 0.94. Let's say I'm going to take my stop and I'm going to put it up here at this swing high. I think I want to give it a little more breathing room. So I move it up here like this. Look at what happened to my position size. It's 1/3 the size it just was. It was 0.94. Now it's 0.35, as it should be, because what's it doing? It's maintaining my 1%. Now, if you're new to this, let this sink in for a minute. The most important thing you can do is control your risk. Entries are great, but if you're taking too much risk in making that entry and it goes against you, you get hurt. So it's really, really important to be mindful of risk mitigation, and where you're placing your stop really matters. And I didn't know any of this when I started. I mean, I was struggling with this. This makes this whole process a lot, it's complex in and of itself, but this is one of those things that you can use to your advantage to help minimize some of the complexity. So if I move over now to, let's say, USD JPY, what do you think? Should it be the same position size on this instrument? No, it's completely different. Different instrument. So let's do a long here, just simply because I don't have a lot up in this area. I'm going to go to the 15-minute. I don't think we're going to see much up above it. No, we aren't. Let's pretend we're going to do a long for a minute, and don't worry about which direction I'm going. I just want to show you the concept of the calculator. This isn't at all trade calls. It's about how to manage your risk with a calculator, a position size calculator. So what it's done again, it's looked at my account size down here, 9,600 bucks. Notice it came close. It's a little bit less than that. This swing low right here, it's 93 bucks. See that right there? So my position size on the USD JPY would be 0.2, just on that basis. Just like that quickly, I figured out what the appropriate position size is if this is my stop. And again, it's contemplating which instrument, well, in this case, the USD JPY, which broker, because each broker may vary on each instrument, how much money I have in the account, and then last but not least, am I comfortable with where that stop is? Notice 0.2. Now let's say I just for the heck of it, I wanted to move this stop down. I said, I want to give it a little more breathing room. I want to put it down here. Look at what just happened to my position size. So you can't leave it at 0.2 if you're going to have a bigger distance to your stop. You have to adjust the position size. And this is doing that. This now is a 0.14 as opposed to a 0.2. So what I want to sink in, what I hope you're realizing is where you have your stop matters a great deal, and the position size is dynamic. It should adjust on the basis. If it's really tight, let's go the other way. Let's say, for instance, let's say I'm going to move my stop up. I've got a slam dunk of an entry. I'm going to move this out of the way so it's up here someplace. Let's say I'm going to move my stop up right here really tight. Look at what happened to my position size. It went way up. Now, it's very tight. Could it hit it very quickly? Yes. So you have to be careful with this, but it allows you to have bigger position sizes if the market, you really have done your homework and you figured out that this thing is a really probable entry and it's going to go up, and I don't think it's going to retrace down. Load the wagons. You can have a bigger position size. If, however, other way, you put it down where it started, notice position size has dropped. So you're seeing a dynamic relationship between your position size and the stop. That's what I want you to grab onto here. And this tool will make your life a lot more pleasant in the Forex market in general. We're going to be getting to how you'll see signals that come in. And let me just show you this real quick. Hang on a minute here. Let me find this. By the way, I can't resist. This was a trade that came in from Maurice. He's traveling at the moment, and this is a live trade, and it's at 0.4%. While Robert was doing his thing, there was a signal that came in for Maurice. I'm delighted to report I'm at 0.4, 0.5%. It got up higher than that, but here I am using the calculator on the S&P 500. And so, you can be doing signals at the same time as we're doing the live trading calls. Sometimes the fish will be in with us and sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll be in with the signals. Sometimes they won't. Can you do both at the same time? You can. As you develop the proficiency and you have the command of your trading platform. And this isn't huge money, but I'm going to show you a calculator in a minute. So people say, oh, that's only $10, okay, or $20. But when you get the percentages working in your favor, because I'm going to show you a tool in a minute that is just really, really powerful. But I thought I'd show you this just to give you an example. And I was reminded of it because I went, oh yeah, I'm in a trade. The signals, when they come in, look like this. And you've got an entry, which is in this case 2067 right here. You've got a stop loss, 2062, and then 3 take profits. Well, what do you do with those? When you're new, when you're brand new,
Robert, I was going to interrupt you, but this happened so quick. The market's turned the way that I wanted. Guys, we missed the entry. Unfortunately, just the volume come into the markets on the euro. It went on a buy signal. It broke through levels that I was looking for. We just missed that trade on the euro. It would have been a buy. Folks, don't worry. I'll try and get another entry. The USD JPY is dropping, so there could be a possible entry on that as well. But the euro, folks, it did kick up and it broke through the levels that I was looking at.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to do this really quick here, guys,
okay,
in real life. I'm going to show you a partial, because on the signal that came in from our friend, this is a perfect example where it's not theoretical right now. It may take me out here because I've got my take profit right up where we are. So I want to see if I can preserve that and take a portion of it out. Let me get to my signals. Here is the signal that came in. So his take profit 2 was 47.19. His take profit 3 is 47.30. What we're contemplating is the second one here. So instead of showing you theoretical, I'm going to show you in real life. I've got a position size of 0.23. I'm going to take out about, and I got to catch this quick. Yikes. I got to take out half of that. Let's say 0.12 and close. Boom. Fish in the basket. There it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my stop up to right about, we'll see if I can get away with this. I might get stopped out, but I won't lose now. This is called dragging the stop to a break even. In other words, my entry line is right here, this green line. I'm going to get rid of my calculator here, by the way. Don't need it anymore. The green line here is my entry. This was my initial take profit that we just touched it, kissed it, and then dropped back down. What I'm going to do now, since I have half of the position already closed and in the basket, so to speak. In other words, let me go here. Custom period today. And these were the trades last night, real life. Here's the JPY trades that Reynaldo called. So if anybody wonders whether these signals work, here's your evidence right here. Okay. 3 signals from last night. Here's half of the trade that we just took. I took earlier today while we were on the call here, because I had the luxury of our friend doing his heavy lifting and I was sitting in the background, and a signal came in and I thought, well, why don't I just go ahead and take that? And I did. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this take profit line here up. Remember, we had our initial take profit, which I just grabbed, but here's how you do this. I took half of the position off the table. I had an initial take profit of 47.13, which is where this red line is here. I'm going to now move it to 47.19 for the second part of this trade. So I'm going to come up here and move this one up to 47, right about, well, right there. So now I've given it some room here. I've also made this a risk-free trade because notice my stop is over my entry. This is called moving your stop to a break even. It was down here. I made mine a little bit bigger than what Maurice or Mohammed rather had his stop right here. I made it a little bigger to give it some breathing room. And looky here, I think I got the memo this morning. The fish are in and they're going my way. So it's nice. This is how you do a, when you see the trade signals that look like this, and you have take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, this is how you manage the trade to have partial profits along the way. I took out about 50% of the trade when it got up in this area. I've left about half of it in, and I'll take 25% out here and then move my stop up again and take another 25% out here. So that's what I hope to have play out here if it goes my way to the degree that it could. And it looks like it might. We're at a critical level right now. And I'm up to $9 in profit on this. Is about a $1,900 account. And so there you go. Now, what's another way that I could do this? Any guess? I have one position that I'm manipulating that one position on MT4. In other words, I'm taking pieces of it out, adjusting stops, moving take profit lines. That's a lot of stuff. What's another way to do it? Could I have 3 positions that I enter at the same time? And the first position is one that's bigger. I make it 50% and I have it hit take profit 1. 50% is very arbitrary, by the way. I could choose whatever I want, and so could you. But just as an example, could I have 50% in position 1? It hits take profit 1, boom, I'm automatically out. Take profit 2, that position is 25%. I hit it, I have its take profit automatically predefined. I could do that. Take profit 3, same thing. And then just simply as the trade goes my way. So if it gets up here, could I move my stop up to right in here someplace and kind of maintain the distance between the price action and my stop? Yes. And these are more advanced concepts. This is a lot of stuff, but I want you exposed to this so you see where we're headed, what we're trying to accomplish, because it happened to play out nicely. For example, right now I was going to show you position size, and manipulating the position and taking a partial profit. That's what I just did. Okay. And it just happened to be, in this case, on a live trade, which is nice. And see, I'm still at 0.5% right now on this trade, which is pretty nice. I like that. I mean, I'm making this while we're talking here, and it's nice to have something to show you, as examples of how well these signals are working. These 4 trades right here. This was last night. This was at, let's see. James Little was on and mentioned, yep, James, you were right on the money. It was at 4:24 a.m. Actually, coincidentally, this is Romanian time. It's Eastern European time. This was when the trades I placed the trades last night, which was 6:24 to 6:29 p.m. my time. So that correlates to 9:24 to 9:29 Eastern time where you are, James. So there you go. That's exactly what James said right there. 4:24, 4:26, 4:29. I got these 3 trades placed. And boom, they hit the take profit on their own. That's what the green indicates. Happy days. There was, what is that? 12, 17-ish bucks. Not quite 1%. And guys, another trade just came in right now. And so while we're doing what we're doing, can you be doing the signals at the same time? Yes. Now, I'm gonna suggest you pay better attention to Robert than what I'm doing, because I'm a little more experienced, and so I can get away with this, but don't rob yourself of the teacher. don't don't steal from the teacher. Now, look at what's playing out here, guys. It gets up here. I'm going to take out another half of this position. In other words, we're down to 50% now. I'm going to take out another half here pretty quick. When it gets up around here, I'll move my stop up again, and away we go. This is real live trade management on the fly as we're doing this. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'll let this play out and I'll show it to you as we do it. But I wanted to show you something else. So we'll get this frequently, which is, oh, that's just 20 bucks or whatever the number, on an account. It's not about the money. It's about the percentage, guys. And I'll show you why I say that right now. If you haven't seen a compounding calculator before, this is a dandy, and I'm going to send this to you in chat, and I'll show you how to work it. It's a very good calculator. Okay. Click on that link in chat before you leave, and then you'll have this yourself, and you can favorite it in your browser. So what this does, let's say I have my $1,931 account, assuming equity doesn't get hit at all today. And let's say that I can earn 1% a day. What is 1% of $1,931? 19 bucks, right? It's 19 bucks. Now, here's a key setting on this calculator. Include all days. No. Why? This is the Forex market. It's only open these days. Okay. And if you're Robert Russell, he's going to deselect that bad boy right there. He's going to deselect Friday. He doesn't like Friday. I'll trade on Friday. We differ on some things, but this is where Robert could use this calculator and make that choice and match what he does with his trading. He could say, nope, I'm not going to trade on Fridays. Good on you. He's getting good results. He can, we each are, oh, hang on. This is happening right before our eyes here. I am going to take out another 50%. Hang on. We're going to leave 0.05. Okay, close. And now I have just taken out another slice. Here was the first slice, 566. Here was the second slice, 499. So there's 10 bucks. And I've left a little bit in. I'm going to move my stop up a bit right here. I think I'm going to move it up to right about there. Give it a little bit more breathing room. But see, now I've locked in even yet more profit. And I'm going to put my final, well, see, it didn't quite hit that line. I should have pulled it down before I did that. I thought it had taken that, or it was close to that line, but it's okay. It's okay. No worries. This is how you do it though. And that's, this will be on the test. You'll see this again and again, as we do things. Sometimes it's going to be, educational opportunities present themselves dynamically, and this did. So, if we have a signal that comes in, and I can show you some of the mechanics of the signal, we may have signals from Robert, but he's very selective about them, as he should be, and he doesn't like duds. So I like that. He's very patient, and that patience sometimes means a no trading day. But when he does have trades, they're good ones. It's a very high win rate. So keep doing what you're doing, Robert. Now I have $5 left. I have 0.3% profit. That's what that number is right there in my account running right now. I'm gonna leave it right here for now. I'm gonna just let it take itself out if it hits that line. If it comes down and stops me out, I'm still in the chips here. It's gonna be not as big a profit. But this is risk-free trade now. There's no risk in this trade any longer. Okay, let's come back to our calculator. here we are in our calculator. I'm gonna calculate 1%, and I'm gonna do this for a year. You know, we'll have people say, "Man, how much money can I make this week?" Well, come on, man. You in this for a week, or you really want to do this? You know, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's really important to embrace that, because if you allow yourself to get beat up, which you will sometimes if you have some losses, just keep the losses small. Make sure you're using some of the stuff that we're sharing with you, because if you keep the losses small, you will have your wins. And as you have your wins and they become consistent, you really have something. So let's see what this translates into. $1,931, 1% per day, 5 days a week. I'm going to put Friday back on. 1 year. What do you think the number is going to be? Get that number in your mind. Ready? Got it in your mind? Go. Here's what my account will be in a year if I'm able to achieve that. So $1,931 turned into that in a year. Am I guaranteeing you're going to get this? No. You're going to have losing days. Those are going to have to be you're going to have days that you don't win. You're going to have days that you get a 2 or 3% win. Nobody can control that but you. The beauty is that you see a very powerful concept here, and this calculator is really a great calculator. You want to see something pretty wild? Watch what happens when I do this for 2 years. Okay, keep in mind this was 26 grand right here. My 2 grand turned into 26. Watch this. 2 years now instead of 1. Click. Wow, that's a heck of a difference. Wow. That's just being patient, being diligent, and being disciplined. All the qualities that you got to have if you're going to be a good trader. And what's really wild, if you want to see something that's just insane, watch this. Do you think if I added 0.2%, in other words, it was 1%, and then I change it to 1.2%, do you think that'll matter very much? It doesn't sound like much. Let's see. 1.2%. If I could get a little bit better on my overall performance. Look at the difference. Want to see it again? 1 was 300, I think 347. Yep. 1.2, just 0.2% better. So these little slices, if you can get them, are really, really powerful. Here's 1.2. I've not quite tripled the account size. Wow. So this is something I'd encourage you to play with, and imagine also you may have, like many of us, there's a oops, I'm getting an important message. Robert, do you want to chime in, and I will be quiet while you describe what you're doing. I see some important information coming in hot
Yeah,
off the wire.
no problem. It's just we're getting an entry, and as it says, we waited patiently, and hopefully this will turn into an entry, folks. I can share my screen, and then I'll tell
Yes,
you what I'm
please.
looking at.
I'll kill my share. Go ahead.
Okay, folks, so we've been waiting patiently. Let me drag this over. We're going to have 2 possible entries, folks. Our first one is on the 0.236 line. As we say, we're getting close. We mightn't get this level here, which is pretty far away, but I think if we touch this line here, 144.456, that is a possible entry. Okay, this is the new SD JPY. The entry point is 144.456. If we touch this line, folks, I will call the entry. Our stop loss is, bear with me, folks, I want to make sure this is double checked.
And guys, that's a long entry. He's going long on that, a buy at that level. And what was the level again?
The level is 144.463, the entry for a buy.
Okay.
Our stop loss entry is 144.343. Okay,
So,
folks, I'm going to call the entry again, 144.463. The stop loss is 144.343.
May I grab the share for just a moment?
Yes, hold on. I'll just stop it here, Robert.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I want to make this kind of double benefit context here. I'm going to get rid of my yellow lines here. Actually, I'm going to use two of them. Let me get rid of that one. Give me that entry if you would again, please.
Okay, bear with me. Sorry, Robert. So the entry is 144463.
Okay, so I'm dragging that down to right about 144463, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let me show you a little trick, by the way, guys. If you right mouse click on this and you go properties of the line, you can cheat. 144463. Okay, and the stop was where?
Stop is 144343.
144343.
Correct.
All right. Now let's get this drilled in a bit, which will make that easier. Even go down to, so I was on the 4 hour, which means it was looking pretty puny, the distance there. This is easier on the 5 minute, isn't it? Now, let's use our calculator right now and figure out, I've got a little account here on this particular account. It's like 500-ish bucks. Let's say that I want to have a long and I want the entry on the long. I'm gonna move my stop. Whoa, doggone it. Hang on. Didn't have my lines turned off. One more time on the stop, please.
Okay, 144343.
4, 3, 4, 3. Now, if you're smarter than I am, see these little got it. Okay, that one I think is right. Hang on. Um, 3, 4. Okay, that one's correct. And the entry again, I'm sorry, was
144463.
6, 3. Now I'm going to show you something. This is again one of those teachable moments because I just did what you don't want to do. Notice right here, guys, you got these little handles over here. You can see that little box. If I double click on the line, the box will go away. Then I'm not going to be dragging my line around when I'm trying to drag other lines around. Same thing here. I double click on that one, the little handle goes away. Now those lines are locked. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset this. I'm going to say, okay, I think I want to do a long trade. Boom. Where's my entry? I'm going to put my stop right down about right there where Robert had called the stop. I'm going to take my entry and put it right about right there. It's calling for a position size on this size account on this broker, which in this case is Robo4X of 0.05, 0.05 for me. You see how cool that is? I don't have to guess. That's the appropriate position size based on where this stop is located on this broker, on this instrument right now. Yay. I like certainty in things. And this is one that, in a market and in an arena that doesn't have a lot of certainty, it's sure nice to have some certainty here and there. So now we wait, to use Mr. Russell's phraseologies. Now we
Robert, I
wait.
can give you the tick profit as well. This is where I'm gauging for the tick profit. I have it set out as well.
Yes, please.
The tick profit is 144748.
748. Okay. Now this thing is reading points and I don't like that. I'm going to change up on my calculator to get it to behave better. And I like it having the levels as opposed to points. So we're going to make that change right now. I highlight the calculator. I go to properties, scroll down here, show points. I wish it would default to show price. I don't like points. And we're going to do that again. Well, that's good because we're getting some practice in here. I want a long, and I want that bad boy to be the stop to be right there. I want this to be the entry right there because it's the distance from my entry to the stop that computes the, and so my stop is going to be $4, which is under, it's right at 1%. Now, one more time on the, in fact, I'll get the line here. What was the take profit?
144,748.
Whoops. Seven, 4, 8. And hit OK on that. And again, turn off that line. So when I'm doing my adjustments over here, it's not going to move my line around. So there we go. So we have a $4-ish, $4.20 risk and a $10.31. So Robert's got us on with about a 2-to-1, 1-to-2 risk to reward. So right exactly where we should be. And now we wait. I'm hoping everybody followed that. We're going to do this over and over and over again. So you'll have plenty of opportunity. Get the calculator, practice on a demo account. You know, you'll get it in no time. The beauty is I'm not getting, now here's an easy mistake to make. What do I have on my trading platform? Failed. I didn't pass the test. What are we supposed to do? We got to get our trading platform to match the position size that we just computed over here with the calculator. Calculator says 0.05. I don't want this on a 0.02. Want it on a 0.05. Well, just did that. Now I'm ready. And now I can, assuming we get to the point, are you, we're getting close to the promised land as far as the entry, are we not?
Yeah, getting very close. There is a fair value gap literally below it, folks, so it might go through it, but I'm expecting the retrace then back up.
I'm going to kill my share. Why don't you take over again, if you would?
Okay, folks, so it could come through here, okay? It could. We're just at our entry. It could come down and take this fair value gap, okay? So if we do go into a little bit of drawdown, I am expecting it. But if we do hit this fair value gap, again, folks, this is our stop loss, okay? So the stop loss, folks, is small, okay? So you have to make sure you have your calculator, your lot sizes all correctly. Folks, it literally touched that line, you know, with that entry, it could have been a little bit higher and it's retracing. No, it mightn't have got our entry, it just touched it. I'm hoping it doesn't kick up on us. Because it did come very, very close to that line, as you can see, guys. Let's hope it does come back. If it continues to go up, folks, we'll just wait. We might get to touch our line. This continues to go up, folks. We got to be quick on our entry. It just about touched our line. Just touched it, I think, close, and it's continued to go up. Folks, if it breaks this high here, let's say the high to the left, if it breaks above this and goes up, I can't see it coming back down again.
Andrew, you're welcome. And John, thank you. Appreciate that. Click that, Andrew, before you leave, and then you'll have that. It'll show up on your browser. Make sure to click that link, the one I sent or the one John sent, either one. Sorry, Robert.
Okay. Folks, I am saying if we do break this level here, I can't see it come back down to our entry. We just got to sit and wait. Hopefully it'll come back down and give us an entry. Again, folks, we just have our lines, you know what I mean? You're waiting till it gets close You know, normally when it gets very close, most traders would jump in with their buy because that's literally only a couple of pips. And the minute it touched it, it's moved up.
Which says loud and clear you had your level exactly right. It's just it's a pip or two in the other direction, but that level was it's clearly respecting it.
And there we go, folks. It's going up. Here's another, as it says, folks, we broke this little high here. If it goes above this high here, it's only going one way. Folks, I don't know if anybody has entered, but as it says, you know, if you did enter that trade, you should be in profit. If you entered down here, it's totally, folks, totally in your hands now. You know what I mean? Because you placed the trade, so it's down to you now to close it. We can only give a trade idea. It's not financial advice. And we had a good entry, got very close, and now you can see the trade is in profit. Folks, I did enter just at that point. I did get in at that point, right at the bottom of that wick. Again, if we break this level, folks, here, if we break it, it's only going one way.
So in other words, it could be another entry there.
No, it's just going to, it's
Okay.
broke this high. It broke that previous high. No, it's just pushing up.
That's what I mean. It could be another buy entry here. Or no.
No, I wouldn't go in. I wouldn't go in another entry.
Okay.
We know, folks, for a game, we will have our entry a little bit higher than the line, just maybe a little bit above it. Because that literally, if I take out my entry, I just want to show you, it probably was close. Let's take out my entry. And let's zoom in on the line. Okay, folks, so this was our entry here, this line. So look how close it got, maybe 2 or 3 pips. So it was a good entry, a very good entry, folks.
Andrew, no. I wouldn't. That's what Robert indicated.
No.
And on the calculator, you can use it on MT4 or MT5. You'll find the links, the appropriate link, depending on which platform you're using, which trading platform.
Yeah. Like, folks, this was our entry. I wouldn't call another entry here. Like, it came up. It's got its fair value gap here. It'll come down and probably touch this one. Continue to push up. But folks, I wouldn't call an entry now. No. When you have an entry, folks, you get it. As it says, we won't do a second entry. That is on the minute. If you go on the 5 minute, as you can see, folks, that's a big push up. We've got fair value gaps here and here. If you go to the 15, again, folks, that was perfect entry for our trade. And Robert told me yesterday, no, folks, I hadn't got that line in yesterday. That's 0.236. So we have that line in now, and that just proved that was the entry. Folks, we're going to get more of these here. Okay, we didn't miss an entry. We're going to get more.
Robert, can you show people where the watermark and the symbol is on your chart there? Just kind of hover over those.
Okay, so folks, here it is. US dollar,
The
Japanese yen.
watermark right in the middle of the chart.
Oh, here. Sorry,
Yeah.
USD, JPY, and I'm on the 1 minute, folks. Okay.
Mhm.
So, folks, if you want that there, you will go up here to the little icon, chart settings, click on it, come to canvas, and click on watermark. Okay. So that's the little button. That will give you the watermark, okay, because it tells you USD, JPY, I'm on the 1 minute. Let's say, folks, if I go to 5 minutes, you can see USD, JPY. If I go to the DAX, the DE40, it's telling me I'm on the DE40 and I'm on the 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay. So, folks, that entry was there. Unfortunately, the entry was got, and if anybody got in, folks, it was a good entry. I just took profits there, folks. I just took my profits. It probably could push up, but I just came out here at 0.4% profit. As we call, folks, in some of these trades, as we call, other traders call them, we will get some home runners. Okay, they will go. And what I normally would have done, folks, what I would normally do here is the stop loss. This is what we would normally do if we run the trade. You would have taken it up to there. Let's say you're on this trade, we're on the trade live. Let's say I stayed on the trade. This was our entry here. You would have taken your stop loss up to a profitable trade. Let's say it continues to move up. Let's say it's going up here. Let's say it gets to this area. Your stop loss again will come to here. So no matter what, we have nice profits banked. As the trade moves up, folks, continue to move your stop loss up. Always go below the previous low over here. If this continues to move up, move it below this previous low here, because if it continues to go up and it comes down and it breaks the low, it's going to go back down. So what would I do here? I would move it again. I would bring it up there, folks. I'm not giving it much room to breathe, because if it breaks that low there, we're going down. Okay, so we entered here with great profits banked, and it continued to going up. Okay, guys, again, it was a good trade. Patience paid off there. Again, we will get more and more of these trades, but the most importantly is patience, and we will wait for our trade entries. Robert, thank you for all your stuff, all your sharing, all your education. It's incredible. And folks, as what it says, I'm learning every day, the same as yourselves. But I'm very key on my entries. I just won't go into an entry. I like to enter, and then when we do enter, the profitability of the high trades winning, it's very high. I want to keep it that way. We're going to have losers, folks. But if I sit and wait my entries, I want the winners to outweigh those losers by a big factor.
Yep. Good stuff. Yeah, I think that's a wrap. We've covered the trading and some of the tools, and we'll revisit this next week on Tuesday. So are there any questions on anything before we bring this in for a landing? Okay, I don't see anybody typing or raising their hand.
Now, folks, before we jump, we have an opportunity call in just over 2 hours time, 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Am I correct, Robert?
Hang on one second. Um,
In Pacific, it's 12 p.m. Am I correct?
You're talking about the one today at 6 p.m. UK time?
Yeah, that's the opportunity call, 6 p.m. UK, 1 p.m. Eastern. and I think it's 12 o'clock midday for Pacific.
No, it's hang on just a minute. Let me grab the share. You're talking about this one here, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So this would be 6 p.m. would be 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. We got to get them typing that in because this is going to throw people in the US. We've got 4 time zones and we've got to specify the time zone. That is Eastern. I figured that out because I'm used to comparing UK to my time. UK is 8 hours ahead of me. So I'm 10 a.m. UK is 6 p.m. Eastern is 3 hours ahead of me. If that
Okay.
makes sense. That's 1 p.m. We got to get these guys making sure they put in Eastern there because the people in
They
the
have
US.
Eastern at the very end, EST at the end.
Oh,
1
yes, they
p.m.
did. Sorry,
Yes.
my
Yeah.
bad. I missed it.
Yeah.
There we go. Um, so good. Yeah, so this is the one coming up today, and then um, the on Saturday we have another one that we're doing, our final one actually for this run of the special offer, the January offer that was the extension of the December offer. We have that coming up at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time on Saturday. So be sure not to miss that one because we're going to try to really bring it. It'll be our last hurrah of the Manifest special offer. Get guests on these guys. We're seeing massive growth, so if you're not already involved, take advantage of it. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to just do a quick plug for this right here. This is in fact, hang on 1 second. I just love seeing these messages. Look at this. This is hot off the press. Darren Cunliffe, over 2%. Bot smashing it today so far. Yay.
Wow.
And as you saw with the calculator, you can make a lot of money with 1.2, 1.3% if you get it consistently. So here is our special offer. What we're doing is we're offering what we're doing here until January 18th. What Manifest is offering is if you sign up as a customer, it's $20. Normally it is $150 to sign up, $149 to sign up. Right now it's $20 and then it's $99 30 days later on your renewal date. If you want to be a customer and an IBO, just add 20 on each end. So you're at $40 and then 119 30 days later if you want to be in the business of bringing this out to the marketplace. So this ends Sunday. What we're doing here ends on the 18th of January. So you'll have an opportunity to bring guests and put them in front of us for all of next week, all of the following week. And then if somebody wants to be in our live trading session, they'll need to be a paid customer of Manifest. And then we'll have free days for marketers to bring guests in on the 2nd and the 4th Wednesday of every month. So take advantage of this though. I mean, this is such a great deal, for people to get plugged in. And not surprisingly, the agenda is if they try it, chances are good they're going to like it. So if you can get them in to try it, away you go. It's a very, very powerful offer that Manifest has, and I don't think we're going to see this again. By the way, this $20. They're coming out with a new back office as of the 8th. We're told that's I think still probably to be determined because they want to make sure everything is correct before they roll it out, but that's the plan so far. So, okay. Any questions on any of this or anything else before we close up today?
Folks, I see there's a few questions in the chat. That call is today. The opportunity call is today.
Yeah, the other one we were discussing, Andrew, is on Saturday. The one today is at 1 p.m. Eastern. And hang on, I'm getting there. And 6 p.m. UK time. So whatever time zone that is for you, Andrew, I don't know where you are. What country are you in, Andrew? Okay. I think I want to say there's an hour disparity between UK and Nigeria. Give me just a second here and we'll get to the bottom of that. This is a very useful tool, by the way. If you're doing international business, I use this a lot because it takes all the uncertainty out. So here we go. Tomorrow, or excuse me, today, getting myself confused here. It is the 4th. And we established that that was 10 a.m. my time, Pacific time in Seattle. Yeah, sure enough, there is an hour difference. UK is 6 p.m. Andrew, for you, it's 7 in Nigeria. So there you go.
Okay, Robert, thank you again for all your education, and thanks everybody for attending, folks. We'll be back with our live trading next Tuesday. I can't wait. And folks, hopefully we'll see a few of you on the opportunity call at 6 p.m. UK time, which is just in 2 hours.
Have a great day, guys, and may the pips
Thank
be
you.
with you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.